Hey guys, I have a completed, I don't want to say journal because it's not journal pages, and I don't want to say sketchbook because they're not just sketches. It's a completed art book thing that comprises sketches and watercolours and all that kind of razzmatazz. And I have not done like an art journal or a sketchbook flip through for a long time, so I thought it was about time I did one. This is one of my all-time favourite papers, and that's why I thought I'd linger and show you the cover. I do talk about this quite a lot because it is like one of my favourite papers, although I am slightly favouring a different one at the moment. This is the De La Rowney mixed media pad. I buy mine from Hobbycraft. I stock up when they're on sale. It's A4 size, 250 grams, 30 in a thing, although there's not 30 in here now because I do sometimes rip it out, like if I want to cut it up or something. So yeah, totally loving that. It's mixed media, so it takes everything absolutely beautiful. I love it. I am, however, really liking at the moment, and this one I get from Hobbycraft, and I'm not just saying this because I stock them, but stocking them is quite handy. I am really liking the Prima mixed media book at the moment. The only downside is it's an A5, and I do quite like a larger size. But yeah, I am really loving this paper. This is absolutely gorgeous. So this is slowly becoming a bit more of a favoured over this one, but I don't think I'll ever give this one up because of the size. I need to get the Prima do an A4, so I need to get that one really. But I've got loads on the go, which is why I don't very often do a flip through, because I have so many sketchbooks on the go. I've talked about this in my Patreon, and the reason I have so many sketchbooks on the go is because sometimes when I sit down and create, so I create artwork for my Patreon videos, my Patreon collage sheets, I create artwork for the Brimbles box and sticker club, and I create artwork for myself. And when I have like a day of doing like art and stuff, I need several things on the go so that whilst one is drying, I can move on to the next one. So a lot of these pages are double-sided, so I'll do like the first side first, and then I will flip over and do the second side. It's not chronological, I just find space and run with it. So most of the artwork in here that you're going to see is either from Patreon or for the Brimbles box. So yeah, as you can see, this one I started, this is the very first page, I started this Christmas time, so December, so it's lasted me about 3 to 4 months. Bearing in mind I do have others on the go as well. So yeah, these are just a few little characters I did for Patreon. These are all watercolours. You know, some I love, some I hate out of this. And if you saw my Instagram stories the other week, I had a really bad week of drawing stuff. So this has been cut down because I have used the back of, I did some bits for collage sheets, like background stuff, and then I ripped it out and I used the other side for doing something, and that went in my journal. So yeah, this is my little dear girl. It doesn't show up really well on camera, but all the little flecks and things are actually a metallic shimmery paint, and so the shine and sparkle on there is really quite lovely. But yeah, does not pick up very well on camera, unfortunately. Every month on Patreon, I'm probably only going to do it for a year because I'm going to run out, but every month I basically do like a monthly little doodles sheet, and that's like it's partly like a favourites or an essentials or a hygge list, something like that. So you'll see quite a few of these in this pad. So they're just my doodles, and obviously I like alter them and stuff in Photoshop before I give them to my Patreons. But it was like, so my Christmas essentials were like snow globes, candy canes, hot chocolate, Christmas jumpers, stockings, orange pomanders, cracking nuts, crackers. Okay, so this is artwork for my February collection, which is the We Go Together. So obviously you've probably seen this quite a bit already. That's those. That was the jelly that I didn't like. You might not be able to see that very well because it's pencil. More of the We Go Together collection. And then more of the We Go Together collection. So I did quite a lot of different graphics for that. Patreon 1 month. I can't remember what month it was now. We did painting in grayscale, and that month I did a giraffe. So it was just looking at how we had different tones, like whether they're brown or grey or blue tone blacks, and then yeah, and then we went for it and did a painting. Yeah, a couple of things. What's going on with that giraffe? I do not know. That never went anywhere. This little wreath, I'm really into painting up or drawing up wreaths for journal spots. So I think these are a really nice way to kind of like have a title, so you could have like the month or today or something. Obviously this is like the original, and when I work, I tend to work quite big, and then obviously I like, you know, scale them for the collage sheets so they don't, you know, you don't end up with a massive one, but you can make it massive if you want to when you print it. So yeah, another giraffe. That was for Patreon. This time painting in colour rather than black and white. This I did end up going as part of a Patreon collage sheet, but it was just a bit like, you know, it was a bit experimental, and sometimes you've got to be experimental. As was he. Again, he did end up going in the collage sheets because I asked my Patreon design team if they liked him and think he should be in, and they said yes. So he went in. He was a bit of a mistake, like a bit of a kind of thing, but you know, he's kind of cute in his own way though. That was the start of something, another wreath that never actually took off, but I did end up doing one. Winston was back for Valentine's Day. He was he gave all my Patreon ladies a little flower for Valentine's Day, and his little mate. He gave everyone a heart. How cute of him. This ice skater lady, she was a Patreon thing. I wasn't really happy with her face. I'm still not really happy with her, but my design team told me to put her in, so I put her in. So yeah. And what was this one? This one was February Essentials. So we've got warm mittens, Winter Olympics, pizza, because it was National Pizza Day on February the 9th, cheesy movies, telling people you love them, spring flowers that are starting to appear in the shops, a box of chocolates, pancake day, snowdrops, and feeling the love. This was my little snowdrop wreath. A couple of little wreaths that I started but just didn't, just no. This is a load of colour swatches, but this ended up being a one of the papers in the Hop to It Brimbles collection. I mixed up a load of different greens and came up with a load of different names, and yeah, that ended up being a paper. This is just random marks and things that I was making whilst I was doing one of my Patreon tutorials. It was just sort of showing how you can like work different watercolour and stuff. This was a bunny that I started and never finished. I saw a photo, I can't remember if it was on Instagram or wherever, but there was like a picture of this bunny, there's a bit of glue on there, picture of a bunny that was like cut in half, so it was like only half of it. So I thought, oh, that's really nice, I'm gonna do that, and I just started, and I never finished it, but I did end up going on to do like a forward facing bunny, so there you go. Just some pattern making, just for fun. This was part of April's Patreon. I was just doing talking about masking fluid again, and also making various like journal spots and things. So this gets tidied up in Photoshop and that, and so my Patreons Had like another little journal spot in their collage sheets, so like, you know, so you could put like the month or today or whatever in this white gap there. Yeah, this is another thing I did for the April Patreon collage sheets. My Patreon said they wanted more illustrative people, so I try to do more people. So yeah, she's her, like, you can probably tell I really love 80s music. Love 80s music. I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 81, beginning of 81, and you can probably tell that I was listening to 80s music whilst painting her. Yeah, she never went right. Then this little chick appeared. Acrylic smooshing. I was in a funk and I just decided to like get some acrylic out and smoosh it just for fun and for like background stuff for Patreon. Then we've got Winston back again for April collage sheets in his rain mac and his umbrella. So that's the end of that. So I'm going to flip it over and show you the backs. Not all of the backs have got art on them, because stuff like that Winston, sometimes I'll like keep it plain in case I want to like sell the original or something. So if I really, really like something, I'll keep it plain, or if I want to do something with it. Yeah. I don't know what was going on with her face and her hair, and just everything about her is just a no-no. No, 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 no. And the same with her. I mean, what's going on with her face and her hair? It was a bad art day that day. It was just a bad art day. Bad. A couple of little characters. Okay, so this one, I was trying to experiment with creating some people of different ethnicities and some darker skinned. I've never done darker skin before and struggling, if I'm perfectly honest. So I need to find some like tutorials and stuff to learn how to do that. I am conscious that like a lot of the people that I create are white Caucasian, and that, I've said before, is because like that's just how I know what to paint and what I resonate with because of my own ethnicity. But then I appreciate that I am excluding other people, which is not something I want to do. So I am trying very hard, but it's not something that's coming very well. So if you know of any really good tutorials on painting different skin tones, then please hook me up. I would love to know. That's the bunny that I ended up painting, and that was in the March collage sheets. Some rainbow effects again. We were talking again about different watercolour and stuff. So the April's essentials, favourites and hygge. So we've got chocolate, we've got bunny everything, puddles for splashing in, more sunshine, plants are growing, going out more, less hibernating. Some more wreaths for journal spots. So we've got two kinds of daffodils. I also alter these in Photoshop, so like I will manipulate some of these and make them into different things as well. So I do like the originals and then I manipulate them. So then started painting a duck, and oh, I don't know, I wasn't loving the duck. So the duck has never done anything. March essentials, daffodils, sunlight streaming in, little birds singing, getting back to the garden, March hares, and more delicate teas in delicate cups. So less sturdy mugs, you know. And like sometimes I don't do on the back because of like marks and things, but coming up to the end, I can't even remember what's on some of these pages, you know. So oh, Easter eggs, these are for Patreon stuff. Most of this, guys, as I said, is either Patreon stuff or Brimble's collections. Working on some different journal-y type spots that, you know, meh. Easter wreath, more journal-y spots. Oh, smoosh. That was just a wipe up or something. And that's it. That is the end. That is a completed whatever it is. And I hope you enjoyed watching that. And as and when I fill up more, I'll do some more flips with you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.